So this is the next video that is part of the series of things to ask and things to know before you book your next cruise. And don't do it online. Call them. Hello, I'm Ray.
And I'm Barbara.
And we love to go on cruises.
We want to share our experiences and our knowledge with you in hopes to inspire and educate.
So we could be a blessing to others who share our passion. So another reason why it was a good thing that we called in is because we are members of Royal Caribbean. So we've been on several Royal Caribbean. I'm not sure exactly how many, but yeah, so we've been on several Royal Caribbean, and we have their loyalty match. I think it's called the Crown and Anchor or something, Crown and Anchor Society. Well, Celebrity is part of Royal Caribbean. They're owned, I think, by Royal Caribbean. And so they have, their program actually does a match. So, you know, we didn't know that online. I don't know if I could see that, if I could find that, but.
Yeah, and actually several, like I know some, like we also did it, we were considering an MSC at one point, and we did their match program, and they told us, okay, in order to do that, send it to this email. So when we called to speak to the lady, we asked about the loyalty program and asked, you know, is it automatic because we're with Royal? Will it transfer over, or do we have to enroll? And she's like, oh, I can do it real quick. So she, you know, just asked us for our Royal Caribbean numbers, and she entered it in, pulled it over, and got us set up right away. And with that, not only did she do it right then and there, so we were all taken care of, but we're like, okay, so what comes with that status? You know, like what benefits do we have with that status? And it was a good thing because the first thing she said was a room upgrade, free room upgrade. And so his quick thinking, he's like, well, we had set up a guaranteed room, and you know, my wife wanted you know, the room that we picked, and I had talked to her about what's the best room, and she had helped us select one away from the noise, away from the smoke and all that stuff. And he's like, can we go ahead and apply our loyalty to that upgrade? And she's like, well, let me go check. So I don't know whoever she talked to or whatever, but she came back, she's like, we absolutely can do that.
And that was, yeah, that was like $150.
Yeah, like $150 just to do a guaranteed to, you know. So yeah, so right away, first benefit. And had we have done it online, I don't know if we would have gotten that, because probably not, because we would have had to figure out, how do we join the loyalty? What do we get with the loyalty? And that was like within minutes, we just saved that money. So that was another good thing. And then she maybe told us a few of the other things, but that was the first thing. We're like, man, that was great. So we were all set. And then, yeah, so that was a good thing.
And when she was talking to us about the room upgrade and the amenities of the concierge.
Right. That's another thing, because, you know, for us, like I said, we've never done concierge before. I mean, we've heard of it, and it always seemed like it was so expensive, but with this one, it was fantastic rate. So we were like, yeah, let's do it. So we were like, what amenities come with it? And she's like, oh, well, or we didn't ask amenities. We said, what's the difference of getting a concierge room versus just a regular balcony? And that's what she said. She said it's a matter of the amenities. And she was like, we get like pillow selection, and we get an exclusive lunch, and we get a free sparkling bottle of wine, and, you know, little things like that just elevate the experience. So
yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that concierge exclusive lunch is like, is it at the port? Like when you first get there?
When you first get on. Yeah. So when you first get on, it's like a special separate lunch. So like, you don't have to run to the buffet or try to find something. It's kind of more of a you know, probably a less crowded, I would hope. I don't know. We'll have to tell you.
Yeah. We're going on there soon. So keep an eye out for, we're going to be making, I'm sure, a lot of videos about, you know.
About that experience.
Yeah. Was there something else? I forgot I was going to say something about the concierge. Can you think of anything?
I don't know what he's thinking.
So now we wanted to talk about the extras. So we asked about the drink package. That was one thing that, you know, we're not really big alcohol drinkers. We'll, you know, maybe have one drink or something like that here and there. But we did want to, you know, just to see what the price was. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to tell us what the prices are. She said basically after, you know, you book the cruise, then you can go on the app and you can see what the different prices are, because they have discounts, you know, like sometimes they'll run promotions, whatever, but it's typically like 25% off or something like that, 10 to 25% off depending on which one you get. But one thing that we did find out from her is that if one person gets the package,
any drink package,
yeah, whether it's alcohol or not, because obviously our son who's 15, he's not going to be,
he's not gonna get it, yeah.
everyone needs to get the drink package. So they obviously know that, you can't share drink packages, obviously.
No, you can, and that's the problem. They don't want you to.
Yeah.
So that's essentially, she said, if somebody gets it, and it even went on the app just to try to see, and sure enough, like everybody's checked with a drink package. And another thing with that is we like coffee. We like, especially I like specialty coffee and such. So that was another thing. We're like, well, if we got this package, do all of them include the specialty coffee? Is that something that's, part of it? And she said, no, you have to specifically choose, the beverage packet, the beverage package that has it in there. So that's another thing. If you think that you're going to be wanting to drink more coffee or specialty coffee, you want to be aware of what options you have. And along with that, again, we're not big drinkers, but we know that most cruise lines have caps. So they may say you can have only 50, well, I won't say only, but they have 15 drinks, per day, or they have a certain total amount. So like every time you get a drink, you can get on the $12 or $14 one, but you can't get these other ones. So you just want to be aware of the package, benefits, and if it's truly worthwhile for you.
Yeah, for us, like I said, we don't drink much, so it's not worth it for us. So
yeah,
we ended up not doing it. Now, they do have Wi-Fi packages, and that's the next thing we'll talk about. They have packages that include the beverages, and then they have Wi-Fi packages that don't include the beverages. So I went ahead and got on there, and we did confirm with her when we had her on the phone that it's the type of internet. I think, most cruise lines probably have the same. I think it's called Zoom or something like that, Zoom internet. But they essentially have it the same way where you can use it for one device, and then if somebody else needs to get on, basically you just kick each other off.
Yeah,
and then the other person gets on. We had heard that, and again, we haven't been on this cruise line, but we heard that MSC doesn't do that. That it locks you into that one device. And
right. So that's what we wanted to confirm, because the three of us all like to do certain things on the internet. I don't spend that much time on there, but there's certain apps that I would like to use while we're on there. And same thing, my son's always on the internet, so he's probably on it more than us. But so just like on Disney, I was like, is this a one device at a time versus just a one device? So she did confirm that yes, it's one device at a time. You can, use different devices, just not at the same time. So that obviously is going to save us a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And while you're on there, I'm sure you might be able to figure this out, but there is a difference between like the basic internet and then the other one that includes streaming. I can tell you from firsthand experience, like personally, what I like to use the internet for every day is I do a Bible reading, and on my app, and every morning or every day that I do it, there's like a short video. Well, if I were to get the basic one, it probably wouldn't stream that because it's just too much bandwidth. And so, again, if you have to watch like a little video or something, even if it's for like 30 seconds or a minute or something like that, you might be disappointed getting the basic one. So,
but even if you did, most of them will let you upgrade. So you can say, I'm going to start with that and see if it covers it, because we've done that too. And that's how we figured it out. We start with the basic, see if it fulfills the purpose. And if it doesn't, we're like, oh, you can just upgrade, because of course they're not going to deny you something that's going to bring them more money.
Excuse me.
Tyre?
Yeah. But that one time that we did have to upgrade, there was an issue. Like the lady had to give us a credit, and
oh no, that was a whole different thing, baby.
Yeah.
We won't go into that. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But that's not relevant right now.
Okay. Well, and the next thing that we wanted to talk about was the dining. So unfortunately, because we booked it so late, we're only, again, 2 months out from the cruise. All the 6 o'clock.
The early dining
was gone. So the only thing they had was like 8:30 or like later or something like that. I'm like, how do people eat that late?
Yeah, we're early. We go to bed early. We're early eaters. So so that was the thing. And she said, but you can do the select your time dining. The thing with that, she said, is I think 4 days before the cruise or something, you're able to make the reservations for those, but you do have to make a reservation every night for that. I know some of them that have the select your own dining, you can actually just show up for the time that you want. You can just show up and be seated. So again, that's one of the things that you can ask and clarify is, oh man, we got to make reservations. Do I have a specific time in mind, and do I want to reserve that before we even get on the cruise, or do we want to do it daily? Because you can do it daily. You can say, today maybe we'll go a little bit later or whatever. But, and then I also asked, because we are early people, like, I'm like, well, is there other options? And she said, yeah, they do have a nightly buffet. So, those are questions I don't know if I would get. At least I'd be searching and searching for a lot of these answers. So just being on the phone with her made everything so much quicker. That we already know what to kind of expect when we get there.
Yeah. And then while we had her on the phone also, we asked about entertainment, because on some ships, I think Royal Caribbean, you had
Royal
to make...
Caribbean, I made reservations.
Yeah.
You could still show up and hope to get in, but if you definitely wanted to see it on a certain night, they said make the reservation, so you're the ones that get in for sure. So she confirmed that it's a first come, first serve. But again, those are questions that, if you do have to make reservations like Royal, as soon as I could, I signed up for everything because I was like, I don't want to miss out. But on this one, it's nice to know we're just going to show up, first come, first serve. And if we really want to see something, we better be there early.
Yeah. And another thing that I don't think I saw this on the website, but when we were on the phone with her, she asked us about if there's any allergies. We don't have any allergies, but our daughter does. Our daughter, has like pistachio allergies. But I don't think you could do that on the website. You can put that in there.
I don't believe so. And, it might be at the time of booking, you may not be able to. I know we've actually done it on Disney after the booking, where they'll ask those questions as you start to do your online check-in. So that is very possible. You could fill in that information later. But it is, again, one of those things when you're talking to them and she's asking, do you have any special occasions? Do you have any special requests? Do you, need a mattress topper? Do you want the beds together? Do you, she's asking all these questions. And again, whether she asked or not, we could also inquire or request certain things. So I think that's, another great thing about being on the phone with someone is getting all this stuff kind of sorted. At least that's my, my take on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, after it ended up being a very long
It was
conversation.
very long. That was my fault.
She had a ton of questions.
I had a lot of questions.
And actually, it was so long. I mean, the first time it was like 45 minutes.
I know, and then we got disconnected.
And we got disconnected.
She called us back, which was nice. I was like, oh, she got sick of me.
That's what I thought. I was like, oh my gosh.
She's like, she's tired of answering. Click.
Like she just was like hammering question after question after question. I mean, this lady probably thought she was being interrogated by the police or something. But I literally thought, I'm like, man, she probably just gave up.
I thought the same thing. But she did call back. And then the next time was like 15 minutes. I'm like, I'm sorry. She actually, I think, had to look up a bunch of information as well. Yeah. But I feel very comfortable knowing how this is going to go and what to expect and the perks and stuff that we have coming versus if we just had booked it online, I wouldn't have known any of this, So I'm very confident that, we're happy with the information we have. And I mean, I would always call if I had more questions, but I pretty much got it knocked out in the first call.
Yeah. And we're really excited because this is going to be our first time on Celebrity. For the price that we're getting, I mean, we
got a lot of discounts.
Yeah, we love our Disney cruises. That's been our annual tradition, for the past 20-something years, right? I think, at least.
Well, even more because we had gone on Disney before we even started dating. We had some Disneys under our belt, so that's why he's got one more than me.
Yeah.
We love Disney. We'll still continue, but.
And we love Royal Caribbean too, but like the price that we got for this.
Yeah, this price was very good. We got a lot of discounts, no complaints, and this, like I said, is our first concierge. So I am really excited to see if it's all the hype, because we've never done it before.
Yeah. So we want to hear from you. Are there any questions that you think we might have missed or, I don't think so because I think she covered them all. I think she asked all the questions.
I'm sure there's some. Like some cruises will have robes in the room and slippers and, I didn't ask that kind of stuff. But, so I'm sure I didn't ask everything. It's just, but it's good to know. It's good to be aware. I think did I ask her about the discounts being automatic? I think I may have asked her like the rewards because on Royal, now maybe, it could be different on different ships and this was just our experience, but we had to request our discounts for our status on Royal the last time. You know, and like I said, some of our other videos, Disney's automatic. So I think I may have asked her, I believe she said this was automatic. I believe that. I think I asked that as well. Because I wanted to know, do I need to look up our perks? And then if I present it, say, hey, can I get it? Or is it just going to happen? I did. She said it was automatic. I'm almost positive.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, please let us know if you have any other tips and ideas and questions, or if any of these helped you. I hope they did. And we'll see you in the next one.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thanks.